Okay, guys, have you met an agent ever who overpromised and underdelivered? We're going to talk today about how we can save you and also how potentially this might have happened.
It's a good old trick, an old age problem where you get a couple of agents through to give you a price. You like a couple of agents and you sort of go, well, you know what? The one that told me the highest price, they must love my property the most. And you hope that they will get that price and you go with them sometimes purely for that reason.
Yeah, I want to talk about a scenario at the moment because I think this is a really, really good case study to what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about agents that have over promised and under delivered, and I reckon there'll be a whole lot of people that are watching going, yeah, this happened to me, and we're going to give you a really easy tip as to how this one piece of advice can actually save you guys. We're going to cover that during this segment. But I had a client who I had dealt with in the past. I'm not going to name names and I'm not going to give out addresses just in case, but also just to protect their privacy. They had decided that they've got a beautiful property and they had decided to go with the local agent. I was called in. I did give a good, honest appraisal, my opinion of value, went through the strategy with them, and they called and said, look, we really we loved working with you last time, but we've opted to go with the agent, the local agent from the area. And it was nothing short of a nightmare. So here we are about 3 months down the line for these guys. They've gone through 2 auction campaigns, which have been a flop. They've now got no one coming through their property. And I've been speaking with them now the last few weeks. And I said to them, guys, if you could just let me know how long that agency agreement is for. First of all, they actually weren't given one. So if you are signing into an agency agreement, guys, in New South Wales, by law, an agent must serve you with a copy of your agency agreement within 48 hours. That's real estate law. So not only did these guys not get a copy of that,
hard copy, soft copy, any copy,
whatever. These days we do a lot of digital signing as well, a lot of docu-signing, but the agreement was for 5 months.
Ooh.
I've never heard of an agreement that went for 5 months. Anyway, they're just coming out of it now. And yeah, it's been an absolute disaster. So I would hazard a guess and say they probably opted for that agent because that particular agent had overpromised on price. And then when it actually came to bringing the property to market, was so far off the mark with pricing that then was just sort of they were at their wits' end as to what to do, and maybe thought during the process that the vendor would just come around on pricing, and that definitely wasn't the case. We hear about this a lot. I want to talk about pricing as well, Mark.
And I do have to say, the world has changed by way of contracts. You used to have to sign up with a phone provider, even if you didn't get a phone, to get a certain plan for 24 months, 36 months, 12 months when you're getting a mobile phone. A lot of contracts in a lot of areas, your subscriptions based stuff, a lot of that's been deleted now, but the industry has still stuck to a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day agreement. Now, what that means is when a seller signs up with an agent, they commit exclusivity for that amount of time. Our industry hasn't changed, but I think it's quite clever these days that agents have so much confidence in their products and in their services that they don't require to strap down the client for 90 days or 120 days. So first of all, the first thing out of today is if you are going with an agent, and you are basing them on, basing it on, these ones are going to get me the best price. You don't particularly need to give them a long lead time. You don't need to give them 120, 90. You can actually give them a week. You can actually give them a non-exclusivity. I feel confident on taking a client on a short agency agreement because I know we work super hard, we deliver, and if we don't strike oil in a week or 2 or 3, I know they're going to stick by us because we're working hard. The hardest thing for us is when we are doing a cleanup behind agents that aren't performing. The clients are just like have their hands like strapped and have to sit on the sideline and do nothing. So the first one out of today is shorten your agreements.
Shorten your agreement.
So
the agent that comes flying through the door that's making all of these enormous promises. Oh, yeah. We've got guaranteed, we've got a buyer who's going to pay big money for your property. Mate, that is music to any vendor's ears.
It's poetry.
Okay? Be careful of the trap.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not suggesting that sometimes agents don't have buyers that are going to pay big money for properties.
But why would you sign up for 120 days?
Well, that's exactly right. But in the event they don't, guys, the biggest struggle, now I do an enormous amount of cleanups. I had 3 appraisals yesterday. Particularly lately. 3 appraisals yesterday, and guess what? All 3 were actually, I call them cleanups, expired listings off the back of other agents that had overpromised and underdelivered. And I hear the same thing over and over again from these vendors. The very first question I ask my vendors when I'm sitting in front of them, when I'm doing these cleanups, is where do you think things went wrong? Where do you think things went wrong? And, the answers are always the same. I could close my eyes and it's literally the same person talking. They go, well, we've gone down to just doing private inspections now. We're not having open homes anymore. We spent a huge amount of money on marketing. There are no buyers coming through the open homes. We were looking for this price. The agent promised me that we would be able to get to that price. And then I walk in and I go, okay, so this is the real price. This is where I truly think, honestly, your property sits in this market. Does that work for you or doesn't? Does it not? Because this is the good, honest pricing. And I'm basing it on real properties that have recently sold in your area.
Why wouldn't the agent do that? That's got it.
Because they're scared. First of all, a lot of agents are scared. And guys, please understand, we're having a really big heart-to-heart with you at the moment. And listen, this is not all agents. We're generalising, and we're giving you guys some tips here today that might be able to help you in case you are a vendor that's sitting there going, oh, this could be me. This could be me. Sometimes agents will over-promise on a price to get a listing. Now, at the moment, listings are tight again. So, and I've seen it. I saw it happen yesterday, Mark. I had a client who had called me after having a bad experience with this particular agency. They called and said, listen, bad news, we're actually going forward with them. And I couldn't even hide how, shocked. I was like, what?
Well, it got worse.
But you just had a bad experience with those guys. Oh, no, they've promised.
Yeah, but it got worse. They re-signed them. So you don't have to re-sign, and the client didn't even know. So they were with the agent for 90 days, and one of the first things they said to Lise was really not happy with the agent that we're with. You showed product services, what you do.
I actually genuinely do have a buyer for their property. I've got a lady who just missed out on a multi-million-dollar property, and she is a desperate cash buyer. So listen, if there's anyone out there, FYI, I did put a post up yesterday, 3-bedroom apartment. I've got a buyer who has a budget of $4 million for a 3-bedroom apartment, particularly in DY. It must have a lift or be on the ground floor.
Here's the kicker, and this is something to teach people today. If this client wanted to continue with the agent that they're unhappy with, fair enough, doesn't make sense, but okay, they gave them another 90 days.
I see this. I see this particular agency doing this a lot.
And it's like, you don't have to sign up another 90 days. You don't have to re-sign at all. You can just agree go another week if you want, and see how it goes. It leaves the seller's options open if they want to do an agent switch.
Yeah.
They got stitched.
So absolutely they did. And I said, listen, please make sure you sign into a short agreement, because it will be much easier for me to get you out of it in the event I need to. Now, my poor clients that are trying to get out of a 5-month agreement with an agent that they're not happy with, 5 months, they got stuck in an agreement. You know, I don't know, but that is a hell of a long agreement. Understand, guys, that if it sounds too good to be true, often it is.
And not only that,
often it is.
But you don't have to go into secret squirrel mode. You can actually share your decisions with the agent you're not going to use, all the agents, and they will actually tailor your campaign of what you're doing with the agent you're going to choose with. Let me give you an example. Lisa, I'm going to give the current agent a little bit more time to sell the property, so I'm going to sign up with them again. And then Lisa goes, how long are you going to sign for? Straight away, you're getting assistance from that agent.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not sleeping with the enemy, but sometimes by just closed book and making decisions on real estate stuff doesn't need to happen. Another example, if you're buying a property, you can always ask other agents who are not in that agency what they think of that property. So always feel free to share IP with the enemy or other agents, and they're going to give you their 10 cents worth. Whether you take that advice or not, get that advice.
And also, guys, please understand, like, you can always reach out to another agent. Now, for this client that re-signed with the agent that they were unhappy with because the agent has promised them that they have got a buyer at a much higher level. And I said, yesterday I said to the Mark, I said, I'll be honest, guys, I don't know where they're actually getting that pricing from. I'm transacting the most amount of property in this area, and that sounds like an extraordinarily high price to me. I've given you good, honest pricing. I would love to see the data that they're using to be able to substantiate that price.
Yep.
Because listen to this, guys, we are all using the same data. So if you got 3 appraisals, because that seems to be the average of what people get, 3 appraisals from 3 different agents, and one of those agents has come in with pricing that is significantly higher, alarm bells should be ringing, because we are all using the same data.
Now, I was speaking to a client yesterday, similar thing, haven't sold, been on the market 59 days, and they asked me, what's the average days on market for my suburb? And I'm thinking, isn't that something you would have asked your current agent? And they said, is it weird that we haven't received an offer? So 6 weeks on the market, 660, 10 weeks on the 9 weeks on the market, not one offer. So, and I'm like, that's weird.
I had a conversation with a really nice lady yesterday about this. So she's been on the market for 120 days with an agent, beautiful property. I gave her good realistic pricing. I said to her, I just want to be honest with you, like, I do believe that your property is not worth this, but I do believe it sits within this range. And I said to her, so where have the offers been coming in? She said, what offers? I haven't had any offer. Now,
it's so weird.
Okay, so but understand this. There may not be an offer where Mark Novak came in and said, I would like to offer $3 million for this property and a 6-week settlement unconditional. There may not be that offer. But an agent must ask the question to the buyers that are walking through. We are not concierges. We are there to sell the property and report to the vendor.
Far out. You're hustling.
100%. And so we have to ask the buyer, Mark, where do you see value in this property compared to other properties that you have been through this week?
Everyone.
And so guess what we do? We collect the information from Mark. We collect the information from Joe Blow. We collect the information from Kim Smith, and we go back to the vendor and we go, listen, these are the buyers that came through this week. This is what they were saying about the property. This is where they feel the property sits. in the market.
These people have had like 10 people buyers a week through their property. The agent should be saying that, and then the agent should advance that. It shows they're not experienced, because then the agent should say, would you like me to submit that to the owners? So someone says, look, say it's a $3 million, say it's a $2 million property, and people go, look, I really see the value at about 1819. I don't see the value at 221. A good agent will turn around and say, would you like me to submit that by as an offer, an expression of interest for the property? The guy goes, yeah, look, happy if you put it. I'm happy if you put in 1819. And then you've got the offer. How can you have 60 people through the property and not have one person with an offer?
But no, or feedback on price. Now, as
offers are hard to get. When you get buyers, love to make offers if you don't make them feel silly, and if you invite them. If you crunch them, they'll just run.
And guys, understand, we are real estate agents. We are not magicians. We are real estate agents, not magicians.
I'm a magician.
It's important that you do give that feedback, good, bad, or ugly, to your vendor. It is our job to report the facts and negotiate the sale. Yeah. That is our job. Now, I've had to have conversations many a time with vendors where I've said, this is not where, and I have given them a higher opinion of value. And I'm always very clear with my vendors, please understand, I am not a bank valuer. This is my opinion of value, but the real judges are the buyers, and they're the ones that we need to ask. Now, I had a property that was on the market a few weeks ago. There was a bit of a curveball with it. I'll be honest, I had given a higher opinion of value. And when the buyers started coming through, and we had a significant amount of buyers, they were telling me something different, because the sticking point with the property became a very big issue with the market. And I had to report that to my vendor. And in the end, I did have an offer. I had an offer in the high 3 millions. I said to my vendor, if that does not work for you, you need to hold your property, and I will call you when the market comes up. Now, that's a hard conversation to have as an agent, but our job is to report the facts, negotiate the sale. As I said, we're not there to none of the buyers like it. None of the buyers see value where I've given my opinion of value. Therefore, I just won't give it at all. No, that is not our job. Our job, as I said, report the facts, negotiate the sale. And sometimes we can be off the mark, but you do need to have that heart-to-heart conversation with your vendor. It's their property, and allow them to make that decision. The buyers are the judges.
You got to calm down a bit, Lise. Calm down. You look very skinny today, Lise.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Could be I had a haircut. No, I've been.
Very
I have
skinny,
been. I
but
have
you
been.
relax a little bit. You just take a couple of seconds.
I'm all hyped up.
Take a couple of seconds, Lise. I know
it's the coffee and the banana bread.
I know you're pretty passionate about this. Before we go, Lise.
I do love. I don't love this topic, but I do really enjoy looking after expired listings. I actually do enjoy it, and I'll tell you why. I like that I can throw these vendors a lifeline. Maybe we can just wrap up on this, Mark, because
Can I say something at all after? At the end of the show, I'll have a go.
Go, and then you can.
No, that's fine. That's fine. What were you going to say, Lise?
We have a lifeline for these vendors, but it's very hard to get sellers out of an agreement if they're signed into a big long agreement. If you feel like you are going to choose an agent, have chosen an agent that you feel could be overpromising, sign a short agreement. Negotiate a short agreement.
If you're confident with the agent and the agent's confident with themselves, do a short agreement. You don't need to join by the umbilical cord for 4 months, for 5 months, for 3 months. Shorten it. And you know what? The agent may even work harder because they know they've got a short lead. Anything else to say on this lovely day?
I want to just wrap up, because again, it's the same prototype of seller where they've spent an enormous amount of money on marketing. The conversation after we work out where they feel things may have gone wrong, then moves into, and I'm not going to spend any more money on marketing. They've spent thousands and
I've spent
thousands
$7
of
grand.
dollars.
I don't want to switch and spend another
Yep.
$7 grand and get around that
And
as
then
well.
we throw them a lifeline with marketing where we can actually do a $0 marketing strategy. So we often talk about our pre-market $0 marketing strategy, but it works in reverse as a post-market $0 marketing strategy.
Why pay when we pay? That's how it
So
originally started.
we cover that, and I will never use another agent's photos. I will take my own photos, fresh, and I will pay for those. But we do have a lifeline for you. So
I'm going to take Lisa to calm down a little bit, guys.
I'm calm.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm very calm.
Wow, you're like that. You know, you pull that thing and go. On Friday, on this lovely Friday, have a great weekend, everyone. Anything else that happened this week that you want to share?
Lots of
my
nice.
cousin using another agent to sell their property.
Oh, that's one for an. Oh,
Can't believe I said that.
I can't believe you said that. That's one for another. That's actually one for another session. Mark, I can't believe you just said that. Couple of really nice little listings coming on as well. Listings have calmed down again. We do have some good stock. Days on market for the new stock that's coming on is literally popping, as in list 24 hours later sold.
It's doing well.
Days on market's quick again, guys. It's very quick. Spring selling season there is no spring selling season. There's not a lot of stock around.
And a lot of people are strong about it, but if you want to be in your rental property, you want to buy something, you want to sell out of something, you've got a 6-week settlement, and that's starting to push on November, which is also pushing on Christmas in December. So the days are limited if you want to be in or out of your property this year. So you've probably got another month to get business sorted. Pretty exciting for people to be in a new house and for a new year. Yeah.
But there's still plenty of time, guys. I mean, we are one of the very few agencies that actually stays open all the way through Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, we do heaps of deals.
We do heaps of deals.
At that
and
period.
Northern Beaches is pumps at Christmas and New Year, because guess what happens? People come to holiday there. So it's always a really, really busy time of year.
Thanks for talking today with us, Lise.
It's better than sitting here saying nothing at all.
Yeah. And have a great day, everyone. Enjoy, get out there, have some fun. Sydney's beautiful weather at the moment.
Stunning. Take care. Be safe, guys.
See you, love you, bye.
Bye.